I have to say, like, I have had, going through the 2 certificates now, I feel like a different person at the end of it than I did when I begun, and like in such a massive way that I can't even like explain to people that I know, like just how much has shifted just on like every single thing that happens throughout the day. I'm so much more self-aware. I'm hardly yelling at the kids anymore. That was a like constant all day, every day. I was just like, I was so frustrated and angry and agitated all the time. And I had no idea why, like what was going on. And I was just at the end of my tether constantly. And I was constantly beating myself up about being a horrible mum, and I'm always yelling and blah, blah, blah. And it was just worse and worse and worse. And I just noticed I had a fight with my son yesterday morning. He was being a real turd and talking back to me, and I had a fight with him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we have not had that sort of interaction in a while. Like it used to be like nearly daily. And now I'm like, and I actually talked to him in the afternoon, and I said, I'm really sorry that I raised my voice at you this morning. And that was me getting upset that you weren't listening to me. And that was me not responding in a good way, where I should have taken a moment and just told you that I feel like you weren't listening. And like to be able to articulate that to him, I feel like he's going to be learning from this stuff as well. And I just feel like they're so much calmer, and like they still fight and they still have tantrums and all that, of course, but it's like I just feel like I'm not buying into it, where I would be like, oh, why is this happening? And I've noticed that my self-talk, I was actually saying out loud, walking around the house going, I can't handle this, it's too much. Just, all the stuff that I would say every day was, I can't handle this, it's too much, these kids are driving me crazy. And I would say that over and over and over every day. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder I feel like crap. This is what I'm telling myself every day. So I've stopped doing it now. I'm like, and if things are getting too much, I just go, I've got this, and I'm telling myself, this is my new thing, I've got this. Whatever comes up, I've got this, I can handle this, I'm just going to take a moment. And just everything just feels so much more like I can deal with stuff now. Like, whereas before things would happen, I just didn't know how to deal with it. Didn't know why this was why is this happening, and why do I feel so crap, and why do I feel so stressed out? And I just feel like now it's like I can see things from the outside in, kind of my issues around weight and eating comfort food and stuff has shifted immensely. Like I feel like I still need to kind of heal, if that makes sense, from all of the stuff that I've learned about what not to eat and what I should and shouldn't eat and what's right and wrong and bad and good and all that sort of stuff. I feel like I didn't notice before how much that had really damaged me, and how much it was actually propelling me to eat more of the stuff that I shouldn't eat. Like it was, whenever something went wrong, I'd be in like a frenzy to eat. And I've noticed now that I don't have that not like, yeah, kind of like a frenzied feeling when I go to eat something. Like I would be like eating really quick and like, oh, it's so good, like I've got to eat heaps of it, like I've got to have as much as I can. And I would have that sort of feeling quite a lot with like the bad foods. And if something was put in front of me, like I was always the person that would go back for more and more and more and more and more, like I couldn't stop myself. This morning we had a morning tea at the school, and they had all like tables full of like cakes and fruits and this and that, and tea and coffee up the end. And I went in and got myself a cup of tea. I walked straight past the food tables. So I just had breakfast at home. I wasn't hungry. I walked straight past the food tables, went over and started talking to some of the mums. And I actually noticed that, like, I caught myself in the moment going, wow, you're not over there pigging out and feeling bad about yourself and eating just because it's there and because it's bad food and, oh, I get to go and have some of that. And I was like, I recognized that it was there. Yes, I do like that food. I'm not actually hungry at the moment, so I'm not eating. And I was okay with it, and I was calm, and I was like, holy shit, this is huge. That is massive for me, to be at something where there's all that yummy food, and for me to not be like, oh, I shouldn't, or oh, just have a bit, or oh my God, I want to have heaps. You know, there was no shit in my head about it. It was just a clear, like, very conscious, it's there, I don't want any, I'm good. And I was like, oh my God, that's me now. So that was like, I can't even explain how big that is. That has been such a thing for such a long time. And I just feel like I feel better in my body. Like I'm not picking on myself as much, because I'm sort of just practicing being gentle with myself, because I'm more aware of what's going on in my head. I'm picking up on those things and going, hang on, no, don't do that. That's not nice. Don't talk to yourself like that. And I'm rewiring it. And I felt so good the other week that I was like, I'm going to weigh myself. I feel so good. I must have lost weight, because I feel amazing. I got on the scales and I didn't weigh anything different, but I went, oh, well, it doesn't matter. And I just let it go. And like, usually I was weighing myself every morning, no matter what I ate the day before, whether I'd been good or bad or whatever, I would weigh myself to see where I'm at. Like, I want to know how did my food affect me overnight? And I was like so obsessed with it. And I just don't really pick them up now. I did it that one time because I was like, God, I feel good. Like, I reckon I must have lost kilos. But it's just that I feel better in myself, which is just huge. And it's all come through the self-awareness and everything that I've learned, the tools that I've learned in this course. It's been mind-blowing. So yeah,
well,
that's
fun. And isn't that interesting, because it's often not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. So when you do this work, when you've done the holistic certificate in coaching, the holistic life coaching certificate, and because you love that so much, you wanted to upgrade to do the next stage of the diploma and do the mind body practitioner certificate. And none of that actually addresses food. None of that is designed for eating psychology or actually working with people specifically on food, like other courses that we have. So for you to get this much of a shift internally, feeling so good about yourself and your body, to not even think about the food over there, and to actually have that higher awareness of recognizing, wow, I'm not over there with all the food. And yes, I think it's yummy, but I recognize I'm not hungry right now. And I feel so good about myself. Yeah. That says a lot about where our relationship to food and body actually begin, because it's not about the food per se, or even the eating behaviors on their own. It's about the relationship with yourself.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I've got is from this whole thing, is that like I was saying in that little video I put up ages ago, was that like Diane sparked it off for me, like, what if you just let go of losing weight? And when I actually looked at it, I was like, yes, there is definitely still a part of me, this part that comes up that goes, oh, but wouldn't it be nice if your body looked like skinnier and you looked like that person? If I see someone that has like this gorgeous body and I go, oh, I still have that in me where I go, oh, I really kind of want that. And I have that, oh, maybe I should really watch what I'm eating. Maybe I should start exercising more. Maybe I should do this and that. And then there's this other part of me that, like I've been so conscious of what's happening in my head that I actually know that I just need time to just be. And when I decided not to diet anymore, even though I wasn't actually dieting, I was eating crap every day, but I was in my head, every day I was like, I've got to lose weight, I've got to lose weight, I've got to lose weight. And so I always felt like I was eating the wrong things because I had that expectation on myself that I needed to lose weight. And when I let go of that, I went a bit mad and was like, I can eat anything. And I was like, eating everything under the sun. And then when I realized that nothing was off the table and I didn't actually really want that stuff, I was like, oh, okay. And now I've noticed a lot of the stuff, like when I'm eating like takeout or something, it's actually not that I want takeout, it's that I can't be bothered making something for myself. And I just came to that realization yesterday. I took my daughter to go and get Red Rooster for lunch, and it's because we didn't have the stuff in the house to make lunch and I couldn't be bothered going to the shop with her. And so I wasn't organised and I didn't have the energy to make myself something. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is now what I can start working on, is, just being more organised, having the food there for lunches. And then I'll be able to sort of slowly step away from that. But I'm not putting that pressure on myself of like, you can't have takeouts anymore. You can't do like nothing. I'm not ever going to take anything off the table again. Like it's just whatever comes up, I'll just deal with it as it comes. And if I feel like eating something, I'm just going to have it and then I'm going to move on without beating myself up, because anytime I try and take something off the table, I go nuts. Like I should.
That's what happens. That's part of the dieting cycle, the dieting mentality. Because when we don't think that we're enough as we are, and we think there's something wrong with us, that we need to turn to dieting in order to change what we think is wrong with us in the way that we look, so that inevitably we hope we actually feel better and like ourselves more after the diet. It doesn't actually quite work that way, because as you realized, as soon as you start dieting, there is an element of, I can't have what I want. I can't have that, because the diet says no. So dieting really just leads to restriction. And when you say to yourself, I can't have that, the brain exists in the now. It doesn't understand the negative words of can't, don't, shouldn't, won't. Just goes right to the actual statement that exists in the now. Have that. Have that. I want that. I don't want that. It doesn't matter. The brain just have that. I want that. So when you stop restricting, when you stop dieting, i.e. you stop restricting, when things aren't off limits and you're not fighting against this want or desire to have something because something outside of you is saying that you can't have it, especially if you've got a bit of a rebel tendency, you're not fighting anything anymore. You're not fighting yourself. You're not fighting your hunger. You're not fighting your body. You're not fighting the image in the mirror. You are just simply allowing. You're acknowledging your hunger. You're accepting that it's time to eat. You are giving yourself the choice of, what is it that my body feels it needs right now in nourishment? You're actually honoring the fact that it's time to nourish yourself again. So when things aren't off limits, when there is no more denial, no more restriction, it takes away that that pushback of free will to be able to allow yourself to eat anything. And then you know what happens? When you can have anything that you want, the appeal loses its sparkle. It's like, well, if I can have it at any time, well, do I actually want it now? No, because I can eat it whenever I want to, because nobody's telling me that I can't. No little voice in my head's telling me I can't have that. Which makes you want it more.
I've realised that a lot of the stuff that I was like pigging out on, I don't actually really love the taste of, which is so bizarre. But when I slow down and I taste it, I'm like, this isn't actually even really nice. I'm just eating this out of habit, and because it's got that like so much sugar or whatever in it that it just keeps me going back for more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do prefer dark chocolate, because I really love chocolate. I love quality chocolate. The Cadbury stuff that I can eat a whole block of in one sitting, when I actually slow down and taste it in my mouth, I'm like, Oh, that's not so nice.
It's very, very sweet. Yeah. When you slow, that's the beginning of mindful eating, Georgia. When
Yeah.
you actually slow things down and you take dieting and restriction off the table, when you take away the external food rules of whether you can eat something or not, or whether you can have this much or that much, or take away all the food rules and you allow everything is available to you. When you have that allowance of everything is available to me if and when I choose to have it, then one, the appeal drops away to, I must have this, I need to have this, I want this, but I'm not allowed. It takes away that pressure and that pushback, and it removes that so that you can then actually allow yourself to eat when you're hungry, what you want. And then when you actually experiment with that, and I know you said earlier that, you know, the beginning when you started allowing yourself that a little while ago, kind of everything was like, oh, I can have everything. And there was a bit of a woo, overstepping mark maybe for a little bit. Yeah. But, you know, in doing that, there comes a point when you realize, oh, but I don't have to go and grab all these things and eat all this stuff just because I can now and it's freely available, because it's freely available. I can have it whenever I want. So when you start to realize that, and then you do start to really slow down and pay attention to that food, you start to enter into mindfully eating that food, and you start to slow down and use your senses to a greater degree to actually taste and smell and experience that mouthfeel of that food. And often what people actually find, just as you did, is that when you're eating those foods that before were almost bad or forbidden or not on the diet or were an indulgence and you can't really have them, but of course you want them and you're hungry because you're starving, you're doing a diet, and so you eat more than you should anyway, they're eaten quickly. They're eaten out of a stress of, this is a quick fix, it feels good, it tastes good, it's giving me the sugar hit, it's giving me the energy because I haven't eaten for the last 6 hours, but I'm desperate and I'm hungry, and that just looks and tastes so good, and my brain remembers how quickly it gave me energy even though it didn't last. Those aren't things that you're thinking of at the time. So you're not actually tasting them because you're reaching for them for a reason.
Yeah.
And when you're eating them quickly, you're not tasting them, you're not smelling them, you're not actually even looking or seeing the food before you put it into your mouth. So when you take all of that away and you start to really mindfully eat food, and you start to really slow down and pay attention, and you use your senses to smell, to taste, to look at, to really experience that food, you then start to actually experience that food in a very different way. You start to really taste it, and you start to really see the oil dripping off of it, or the sickly sweet shine of the icing on the donut, and you experience it differently. And that's when you actually do start to realize, wow, now that I'm really tasting this food, I don't even really like the taste of it. I don't even really like the mouth feel the longer it's in my mouth before I swallow it. So when you start to really engage with your meal to get pleasure from it, because, you know, hunger is a natural reminder from the body, it's time to replenish your energy, and it's time to put more energy and information from the food that you eat into the body so that it can be broken down and the nutrients can be absorbed into the cells, and the cells can then create the neurotransmitters and hormones and everything else that it does to feed the brain and the nervous system in the body and do what it needs to do with that food. Then, you know, you're looking for good quality food. You're looking for good things. That's what the body wants. But when you start to realize that the foods that you were craving and wanting and thinking that you needed when you were dieting and restricting and not allowing these foods, it just made you want them more without actually realizing, well, do I actually like these foods?
Yeah.
So that then actually shows you, what does your body really thrive on? What does your body actually really love to eat? If you tuned into it and you let your body decide, not a diet, or when you let your body choose, not because you're choosing foods out of habit. Or rebellion.
And because sometimes you're hungrier than others, and some days I can barely eat anything and feel completely fine. Other days I want to eat like everything in sight, and you know, that's completely normal. And I'm learning that about myself now, that it's okay, because it's just balanced out with the days that you hardly eat anything because you don't feel like it, you know. So I guess the one thing that I have, like, I've noticed that it was all, it's funny that I didn't notice before when I wanted to lose weight that that was coming from a place of me feeling like I wasn't good enough. And I didn't notice. I mean, it seems very obvious now because you're this, but you want to be that. So you obviously think that you're not enough because you want to be that. So I'm learning now that I'm being more kind to myself, and I'm looking after myself in that way of like just looking at my body. Like when I get out of the shower, I'm not going, oh my God, like I'm just appreciating myself. I'm just like being kind and gentle instead of, you know, beating myself up about the way that my body looks or whatever. But I still do have, like I want to work on like exercising to like tone my body up and everything now. And it's like I'm almost scared to, like I've thought about it and I've like looked at myself and gone, I'd really like to start, you know, doing some crunches and stuff and like start really toning my body up. And then I'm like, it's like this scary area now that like if I start that, is that going to start me spiraling on that bloody, you know, thing again? And how do I go to that from a place of self-love instead of, because I'm so used to only ever exercising when I want to lose weight, that how do I exercise and look after myself through self-love? And do you know what I mean? Like, but just finding that a little bit scary. Like I'm wanting to, but I'm like, oh, if I start, is that going to just, you know, I'm going to start spiraling again.
Well, first off, set your intention. Why do you want to do the exercise? And if you do choose to do the exercise for the reasons that make sense to you, they have absolutely nothing to do with the reasons that you would force yourself or make yourself exercise in the past, then what is going to be different about the way you approach moving your body? What are you going to get out of it? What are you aiming for? What is the reason that you're embarking on doing that out of self-love? Making that decision, that intention, that choice, that commitment from a place of loving yourself and extending that love to your choice to move your body because you want to love yourself even more to become healthier.
That is actually it now, is that I want to, like, I'm feel like I'm at a place where I'm accepting myself now, where I can look in the mirror and go, this is me, like, and that's okay. And now it's like I want to improve my body, but it's because I want to just be even more proud of myself, and I want to love myself even more, and I want to feel like even better about what I see in the mirror. But does that mean that, you know, like, I don't know, that
I feel like you make it mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think back to what did it mean to you in the past when you were coming from a place of lacking, loving yourself, of feeling like you weren't good enough as you are, by getting confused between your worth and your weight, shape and size. What did it mean then? And does that still mean the same thing to you? Quite frankly, from what you've told me, it doesn't mean the same thing. You've redefined your relationship with yourself. And because you've redefined your relationship with yourself, which is the most important relationship to have, that naturally is going to drip into your relationship with the way that you eat and the way that you move your body and the way that you show up for yourself every day. So that relationship with you is the center, and everything else is just getting the best part of this shift within you to love yourself more, to accept yourself, to redefine the difference between emotional hunger, stressful hunger, and actual natural hunger. Because when you start to differentiate that, when you move away from dieting and you move into mindful eating, you then take that as you build that relationship of trust back with your body, not just you trusting your body, but your body actually trusting you again to feed it regularly and honor its hunger, notice when it's getting comfortably full and feeling satisfied by enjoying your food, slowing down and actually tasting it and having such a better relationship with food in general. That actually then starts to slip more into not just feeling more self-kindness and compassion towards yourself and your body and starting to be more appreciative of it, but that then moves into the opportunity to really accept your body where it is right now, knowing that throughout your lifetime your body is going to adapt and shift and change and mold according to what is needed in that stage of your life. And then moving that into your eating relationship with going from mindful eating to more of an intuitive eating. So hooking back into that instinctive, intuitive knowing when you are hungry, what foods you naturally feel like you need in that moment, and paying attention, being aware of when you are naturally, comfortably satisfied, and then no longer needing to think about food or even be around it or worry about it, obsess about it, until you become naturally aware of your hunger again, however long later. Moving back into that state that we experience when we're kids, when we know when we're hungry, when we're children, we know when we've had enough and we've stopped eating and we'd rather go do something else, so that food doesn't become the focus, so that your mental capacity is not about food and eating and how much and all that kind of stuff, or it's not so focused on your body and what it looks like and what it weighs and does it fit in my clothes today or does it not, and you know, what does it weigh today, and is that going to be a measure of how good my day is going to be or how shitty my day is going to be. It's letting all of that stuff fall away and fade away so that you can just stay focused and connected in with yourself and your body and your needs in that moment each day, and accepting your body for what it does for you and appreciating your body for the amazing way that it functions for you and keeps you together despite the way that you have treated it and spoken to it in the past. So that then into this whole new relationship of not just you starting to love yourself, which includes your body, but extending the self-kindness and compassion and moving that into accepting yourself, accepting your body as it is, knowing that it's always going to support you and move with you as you progress through life. And it's going to do that so much more with greater ability the more that you support your body in return, the more that you take care of your body just as it's taking care of you and always will. And then you move forward in this more complete way of honoring yourself whole, knowing that you are enough as you are, and you don't need to change the way that you look in order to know that.
Yeah.
That's a much more complete, happier way to live in your body and to feel good about yourself and completely forget about diet culture messing with.
I think that's probably the thing is I just need to trust that the way that I'm feeling about myself now, that's going to stay, you know, that I'm only going to, you know, approve of myself and love myself even more the more I look after myself. So it's okay to move forward into looking after myself more. It's okay to want to better my body. That's all right. It's not coming from that place of going, I'm not happy with me now and I'm not enough now. It's saying I'm good now, but I could even be better because, you know, now I'm on top of this.
But better in the sense of better overall, better as a person, better health, better strength, you know, not separating your body being better by looking better, but your body being better by you extending that self-care to moving your body in a way that it enjoys, not to lose weight, not to manipulate and change it forcefully by making yourself do the exercise, but choosing to do the exercise from the intention of I want to love and care for my body. I want to nurture it and take care of it so that it's strong and it's healthy and it's agile and it's vital and it's got energy, and I can move and I can bend and I can stretch and I can run around with my kids and I can do the things that I want to do in my life that actually contribute to my happiness. Yeah. Because that's going to feed back into you taking care of yourself to be the best person you can be, to be happy, to be healthy, and all the other good things that you want for yourself. Not from a place of, I need to do this in order to weigh less. So just come back to the intention of why. Why do you want to do that? What do you want to get out of it? What is it going to contribute to your life? And how is that going to contribute to your happiness? And then once you've got that clear, then you know exactly why you're doing it. And the old way is the old way. That's how you used to treat your body. But you don't treat your body like that anymore. Because you have something now with your body that you didn't have before. Can you guess what that is?
A relationship. Love.
Yeah, that's one. Absolutely. And what does it take to really have a relationship with your body?
Listening and being present.
Yep. You're actually respecting your body in a way you've never respected it before, when you can accept it and feel compassion and kindness towards it and want to actually take better care of it because you are choosing to take better care of you.
Yeah.
So it's almost about self-respect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Respecting your body for, oh my God, after everything I've put it through, after all of the horrible, hateful, hurtful things I've said to it, after all the times I've dieted, after all the times I've overloaded it with junk food and too much sugar and salt and fat, after all the times that I have starved it for hours and then just shoved food in it, you know, all the times I haven't moved it, or I punished it and I moved it to the point where I hurt it, you know, I'm at a place where I'm not doing that anymore. I don't want to do that to my body.
Yeah.
I want to respect my body by honoring it and taking care of it and feeling compassion for it and feeling good in it.
Yeah.
So there's this level of respect for something so amazing as this beautiful, robust, amazing piece of, technology that our body is.
Yeah.
That suddenly we can appreciate on a whole new level, that when you are so focused on dieting and hating, it's never enough.
Yeah.
Which is really just coming from that place of, from that belief system of I'm not enough.
Yeah.
When you know you're enough, then that includes your body. Eventually.
Yeah.
Once you get to that place, then you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to treat yourself like that anymore. And you know that. So it's going to have the meaning that you assign to it. Your exercise, your movement, however you choose to go about that, is going to mean what you want it to mean.
Yeah.
So if you are very clear on that and you stay focused on that, then whenever the old voice crops up and thinks, oh, you should do a little bit more today because you ate that croissant, or, you know, whatever, you can recognize that little old voice for what it is and tell it, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm doing, and I will not do that ever again.
Yeah.
I decide now, not you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I'll just maybe journal around it and ask myself, like, why do I want this, and where's that coming from, and just sort of delve into it a bit deeper, so that I do go at it from a healthy angle. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
That's okay, pleasure.
That's awesome.